Welcome to the Cross Country Ramblers YouTube channel. My name's Aaron and I'll be your host. This week's race is the GNCC John Penton down in near Athens, Ohio. I'm racing in the trail rider class, starting very last in the the morning amateur race. So as I was sitting here on the line, I was pretty nervous. Fired it up. Didn't get the best start, but again, I'm there as a trail rider, so my goal was to ride the trail. So I definitely got a better start than those guys. So I have a 2002 KX250, a pretty unique bike, but right here there's someone on a KX. So we're battling right now. Not really, but. So we're finally off the starting line into the woods. I think someone might have forgot to turn their fuel on, maybe. So the first lap at John Penton, you do not go on the motocross course until the very end. So I come down the hill, get into the wooded section here, come to my first obstacle. Could have probably done that a lot easier if I would have just stayed on the course, on the trail. So the first part of this race course, there's a lot of open areas, and like I said, I was just getting a feel for things, so I probably could have done these a lot faster. But again, I was just there to ride the trail. So 1 mile in right there. So I get here, I have no idea how I install the bike. It's just one of those stupid things you do sometimes. But if you notice, that's the race leader. Lapping me already. Listen to that KX lug. That's the steely flywheel weight and the right gearing. Has a lot of bottom end. So these trails are a little bit tighter. So what I'm trying to do is just get a feel for riding in the berms and in the ruts. Where I ride at home, I really don't have those berms, so it's a little bit of a learning curve to it. So hotline right here. I think I was finally warmed up by now. I didn't feel stiff on the bike, starting to relax. So I should have probably followed the guy that was lapping me. He probably knew the right way. But I chose to go this way instead, which probably wasn't a good idea. So I'm second guessing myself, and then finally I just fire it back up and just hit it. I think I saw some highlight film of Caleb Russell hitting this section, so if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. It was slick though. So the practice that I've been doing in the mud has really helped me on this course. So it wasn't as muddy as my first race experience, but this was pretty slick. Mess up a little bit right here. Just don't stall it and recover and keep on going. So I start coming off this hill right here, and I think it's a 4-mile marker. Yep. And I think we're going to go through the creek, but unfortunately it comes back up the hill. Did not get the run that I needed for this. Right before I get to the top, I stall it out. So I looked up toward the top, and there's a guy up there. I look back down the bottom, don't want to go that way. So I look at him, he looks at me, and he comes to help. Thank the Lord.
You think we can get it? I appreciate it if you did. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go! 1, 2, 3, go! 1, 2, 3, go!
If I would have had an electric start, you could just hit the button.
You're the man! It's a lot harder than it looks.
So after we complete our little banter, we get back on the road. Fire it up and off on the trail again. So by this time I'm heavily getting lapped like crazy. So there's people coming around me all over the place. But I'm just picking my lines, and I'm trying to do what's best for me, not necessarily what's best for them. They can get around me, so I want to focus on what I'm doing and not crash. So just continue to do some wood sections. This is a lot of fun. These trails were a little bit tacky, so you could get some good traction on them. There's still some mud sections that you had to watch out for. Almost just trying to hit these berms and get a feel for them. You can see. It gets a little muddy down in this bottom. But again, I've been riding in the mud, so I was ready for it. I still can't figure out how people ride so fast in the mud. I almost take this guy out, clip him. Oh, he didn't know how lucky he was. So I actually get to pass some people right here. Get a little hung up. Slow and steady, that's the best way to go. So I get to the first bottleneck. It's probably about 5 miles in, maybe 6. And I was getting pretty tired by this point. And you can't really see it by the helmet cam, but this hill was really muddy and there's people stuck all over it. So I hopped off the bike to go look for a better route around it, and I took my gloves off, and somewhere in my travels I lost my gloves. So I had a pretty good idea. So you can see, here I go. I am going to go find my gloves. Wandering around the wilderness at the John Penton Raceway. Needless to say, they opened up the bypass right during this time, so everyone that I had passed, or that I was ahead of, pretty much went in front of me here. But I did find my gloves, so that's the good part. So got everything gathered back up again, and got back on the trail. So this guy has a little bit of a uh-oh moment. The gentleman I am, I just give him some time. He needed some time. So unfortunately here, I feel like I can bump start it down here. But I had it in neutral for some reason, so it did not work. So I had to kickstart it again. So that was a pretty sweet jump that guy did around me. It looked a lot better in real life. I'm starting to get pretty tired by this point. Almost got wrecked right there. Managed to save it. So I get to this next little bottleneck and just make my own way. So get through it, get to this little section, hit this rut, and lose it. I'm thinking, what in the world just happened? I've come all this way just to crash right here. This guy puts his foot on my tire as he goes by. So it's like everyone and their brother was behind me here, so I just want to get out of the way and get back on the road. And unfortunately, well, fortunately, it was muddy, so I didn't get hurt when I crashed, because it was a very soft landing. Unfortunately, it was really hard getting the bike going again. Oh, that hurt my finger. It still hurts right now, actually. But I was able to get it going again. So there I am at the 8-mile mark. I realize that I am almost done. the mulch section I watched a lot of the professionals wreck in. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even notice it. I think it was because I was going so slow. But I didn't have any trouble with it whatsoever. Finally, I get back to the last part of the track. This is the motocross track. I've never ridden a motocross track before, but yeah, I didn't push it too hard. I just went in there and did what I needed to do. It was sort of cool though, watching these guys zip by me and hit these jumps. I'd like to go back here and just ride the course, just ride this motocross track and just hit these jumps little by little and sort of get a feel for it. I think it'd be a lot of fun. So by this point, it's a done deal. I know I've completed my lap, so I'm just thinking about, do I do another one? So my goal was 1, but I probably have time to do another one. Physically, can I do it without killing myself? That's the question. So here is the last turn before the start-finish line. And I'm so excited that I crashed in it. Good news though, I didn't stall the bike, so I was able to hop right back on and get it going. So I completed my goal right here of doing a lap in a GNCC race. I was very excited about it. So I did decide though that I'd quit while I was ahead. So my goal was 1 lap, and that's what I had under my belt, so it was time to go home. So I can tell I've been running since my first race, and riding a lot more, getting a lot of seat time, and I was in a lot better condition for this race. So it was hot this day. It was probably near 80% humidity. So I was happy. I've been riding out in the heat and just trying to get a feel for it. I had been drinking as much fluid as I could for the whole week before this, just trying to get as hydrated as possible. So I felt good. I probably could have done another lap. Like I said, though, 1 was my goal, and that's where I'd call it quits. So I'm all done. Look at my watch. Yep, I'm definitely done. The next race that's coming up is the Snowshoe GNC. It's America's toughest race, and I'll be competing in that on June 26th. So if you haven't become a subscriber to our Cross Country Ramblers YouTube channel, please do so today so that you'll know when these videos get posted. Thanks, and God bless.